Morning, guys. It's Saturday morning. I can't think of anything better to do than to read some vocabulary into my computer and drink coffee. So here we go. Number one, aplomb. It means confidence, composure, and skill shown especially in a difficult situation. And it's about handling social situations, guys, mostly. Obama handled the negotiations with aplomb. You may not like Obama, but whatever. I'm just using it as an example. Aplomb. It sounds like the fruit. Woo! All right, look at this, saving paper. Our next word, this is what I want you to be in class, is assiduous, showing great care, attention, and effort. Okay? Assiduous students usually do well in school. Be assiduous. Woo, there it is. Got to find my webcam again. All right, next word, chimerical. And it means something that exists only in imagination, but like the kind of thing that's like fantastically improbable, like probably could never happen. And this actually comes from the Greek myth. There's a chimera, which was look at this, I have visuals, a creature that has a lion head, a dragon head, and a goat head, and some wings. It's pretty awesome. So that's a chimera, but that could only exist in imagination. But our word is chimerical. There you go. All right, our next word is confabulate, which is a really fancy $1,000 word for to talk informally or hold a discussion. And if you're hip, some people say, hey, let's have a confab. And what they mean is let's talk informally. I might have a confab with you if you, I don't know, get an F. That would be a good reason to have a confab. So confabulate, fancy way to say talk informally, to chat. I already have cat help. All right, the next word I think most of you may know, but that's good. It's an easy one. Dichotomy is a division into two opposite groups. The difference between two opposite things. Dichotomy. Di means two, so it should be easy to remember. The dichotomy between Democrats and Republicans. I don't know why I'm on a political kick this morning, but there you go. Next word is fatuous. This is what I don't want you to be in class. Foolish or stupid. Don't make fatuous remarks. I hope that your essays aren't fatuous. Okay, everyone thought Elle in Legally Blonde was fatuous, but she proved them wrong, I guess. Fatuous. Fat-headed. Okay, that might be a way to remember it. Fatuous. Our next word is inchoate. And it means not completely formed or developed yet. I remember this because in the middle, it almost has the word chaos. And chaos would be not formed or developed. That's how I remember what this word means. So maybe the inchoate speech of the baby was hard to understand. I don't know. That might work. It's Saturday. I'm still drinking coffee. You ready? Here we go. Next word. Insouciant. This is what seniors are, I find. Free from worry, concern, or anxiety. You're totally nonchalant. Insouciant. That's you guys. Not. Okay? Don't be free from worry, concern, or anxiety, though, because you need to worry a little bit. Yeah. Still drinking coffee here. You can see I just got out of the shower, so. Here we go. This is a really good word for high school students to have in their vocabulary. You guys ready? Lothario. A man who obsessively seduces and deceives women, or a womanizer. Dudes, don't be a Lothario. It's not a good thing. Girls, stay away from him. I bet you guys could name one or two, couldn't you? Lothario. And it sounds so much cooler than a womanizer. Lothario. Don't name your kid Lothario. All right, next one, machination. which is a scheming, crafty action or plan to accomplish some usually evil end. The way I remember this word is, I don't know, it's like a machine for action. I don't know. It works in my head. A machination. His machinations failed. All right, I have some pictures for this one. I gotta find them. Memento mori is a reminder of mortality, like a thing that reminds us of our own mortality. You'll see this in Hamlet. There's a famous scene with a skull, and it's a reminder of his own mortality. So any kind of thing that reminds us that we will die someday. And I have to show you a picture from my trip to Scotland this year. I went to lots of old abbeys and churches and saw lots of cool old graves. I don't know if you can see that very well, but this grave is so old that it's like you can't even read it very well. But up on the wall above the coffin was this, and it's really hard to read, but right, oops, here it says memento mori. So cool, so cool. So remember, skull and crossbones, memento mori. All right, our next word also has a visual, which you'll appreciate. Panache. It means lots of energy and style and having a flamboyance in your style and your action. It's also a really good chocolate store on the plaza, but panache. And I have a picture for you. This might be before your time, but you probably know who Liberace is, hopefully. Here he is. You can see this is how he dressed, and he was a piano player, a performer, and he was known for having these candelabras on his piano. But you can see that he has lots of flamboyance, a certain style in how he dressed. He had panache. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that anyone who has panache has to look like a drag queen, but there's an example to hopefully keep it in your head. All right, your next word, you probably know in one definition, but we're going to learn a different one. Pedestrian. No, I don't want you to know it's someone who is walking. I bet you know that. But pedestrian as an adjective means not interesting or unusual, commonplace or unimaginative, not fresh. And so this is something you don't want to hear on your essay. It was very pedestrian. Okay, it was very commonplace. You didn't really put much thought into it. Nothing fresh or original. Don't be pedestrian. It's a sad fate. All right, phlegmatic. It means not easily upset, excited, or angered. I mean, that's kind of someone who's like so even keel that you're not sure that they have emotions. They're phlegmatic. You'll meet these people like professors in college. And I don't know if it helps, but the way I remember this word is there's phlegm in it. Okay, and if I had a lot of phlegm, maybe I'd be more worried about the phlegm than getting upset or angered. It works for me. Got to figure out your own system. Coffee break. Our next word, a great word for seniors. Prevaricate. Don't prevaricate. It means to avoid telling the truth by not directly answering a question. You're not telling a lie, but you're also not telling the truth. I used to prevaricate when I was a high school student to my parents about where I was headed on the weekends because I was kind of a bad kid. Yeah, don't prevaricate. It doesn't get you anywhere. I got caught. All right, our next word is rebarbative, and it means repellent or irritating. It's an adjective, so this would be a good word to describe someone or something. And the way I remember this, it's going to sound crazy, but it does help. There's a barb in the middle, so I think about barbed wire. And if you ran your hand over some barbed wire, your hand would be, whoops, irritated. Ha ha ha, see, that's how I remember. Is it weird when I'm talking and you can't see my mouth? Woo! All right, we're to the S's. Here we go. Solicitous, showing care or concern for someone's happiness or well-being. This is when people are just like concerned about others. If you're being solicitous about someone, you're asking how are they doing, and you're showing like genuine care, not just being, hey, how you doing, and walking on. Okay? Hopefully your teachers are solicitous because they want you to do well and to be happy and not be sick or upset about something. All right, this one has a visual too. The word is stentorian, and it means extremely loud, just like these words. Okay, a cooler word. If someone is stentorian, they're extremely loud. I'm not talking about loud like clothes. I'm talking about literally loud. All right. Trenchant, whoops, means very strong, clear, and effective, perceptive, or articulate. And you usually hear this with like arguments or points in an essay. The most trenchant arguments were blah, blah, blah. Okay, the strongest, most effective points in an argument or arguments for something. And the way I remember this is there's a trench in it, and a trench would probably, if I was walking along and suddenly came upon a trench, I would probably see it. It would be clear, and I would have to like perceive it. Like I said, these things work for me. Okay, this is the last of our like serious words, and it's vicissitude. It's a noun, and it means a fluctuation of state or condition. And you often hear this about the vicissitudes of life, because throughout your life, your state or your condition will fluctuate, like your financial vicissitudes or your emotional vicissitudes. It's just kind of that going back and forth or whatever. Okay? All right, this is a useful word. Borborygmus, and it just means intestinal rumbling caused by moving gas. Isn't it nice to have a fancy word for that? Borborygmus. I thought about giving you a visual for this and then thought better of it. All right, this is a good word for if you're breaking up and you have a particularly violent tendency to yourself. To defenestrate means to throw a person or thing out a window. And if you take French, the word for window is right there in the middle, fenêtre. And so to defenetre means to throw them out a window. And I'm sorry, I don't know the word in Spanish for window, but maybe it's in there. Who knows? Throw someone out a window. Defenestrate. It's a verb. All right. Mollycoddle. It's just kind of fun to say. Mollycoddle, mollycoddle. I can't even say it 3 times fast. I've only had 1 cup of coffee. All right. It means to treat someone with an excessive or absurd degree of attention and indulgence. It's like babying them and pampering them. I try not to mollycoddle my students because you're not going to get mollycoddled in college. Can't even say it today. Mollycoddle. Okay? I bet that some of you know couples where one mollycoddles the other and you're just like, what? Gross. I bet theater people have seen this, but supernumerary, it means it's something that's more than required or extra. It can be an adjective or a noun. And so sometimes you'll see it in theater programs for people who stand in case there's, they're extra. Supernumerary. And it's easy to remember that because super kind of means more, Superman, more than man, more than, there you go. All right, last word, and this one I chose specifically because of the hallways at North, and it's testudinate, and it's an adjective, and it means slow moving or anything like a turtle. Testudinate. It's a very good word for the halls at North. And because I know that you guys want to see kitties, this is Java, and she's been helping me over here on the side. She's been keeping the papers from blowing away. And I will give you a little point of advice. If you look over last week's words, you may find them on this week's test as extra credit. Ooh, I looked down a lot because anyway, see you later. Have a good weekend.